live. And I don't know if you caught me checking my hair at the beginning there. I hope you did, because that's awesome. We're not really live, we're kind of live. I'm doing this, honestly, I wanted to do an actual Zoom today, guys, but my daughter is having kind of a cranky day. So this is what I can offer right now. I just wanted to record a message and get it out there, and doing it live cuts down on the amount of time it takes me to then upload it to YouTube. So that's nice, because I'm just going for something quick and easy here, but I really wanted to say hello. So obviously we heard the news, and I wanted to take a second to talk about that. It's sad, and that's a pretty normal way to feel. I definitely feel that way. I feel sad because it's just so hard to say looking into a camera and not being there in person. We never really got our proper goodbyes, and I'm really bummed about that. So I don't have anything prepared, like a speech or anything. These are my notes for this session. So just speaking straight from the heart, I will miss you guys. You gave me a wonderful year. Thank you for putting up with the times that I was absent, not there, somewhere else in the building, working on something else and things like that. You have been wonderful class, and I'm saying that to all my classes right now. And I truly mean it, and I really, really appreciate being able to be your teacher this year, and I'm going to miss you guys. I want you to know, and I said this in a video last week, I don't know how many people saw it, I want you to know that you are strong, and strong you are. And it's hard to believe, but when we're going through the times that are challenging, that stretch us and push us to the limit, is when we truly find how strong we are. And I think what you guys will come to realize is that you are capable, you are tough, and you are ready, and you just have to trust yourself and give yourself the chance, and you'll make it. And I know, like as far as the schoolwork goes, I talked about that a little bit, and I'm not going to say much more about it. You deserve to keep your learning moving forward. Your days will go by faster, you'll be a happier and healthier person, and it's going to be better for you in the long-term run of your life. You deserve the chance to keep your learning moving forward, so please do that. And that brings me to, I wanted to talk a little bit about balancing chemical reactions and the next assignment that I'm going to post, and where we're going to keep going with it from there. So I'm going to do that a little bit, and we are going to Zoom either tomorrow or Wednesday. I'll let you guys know. So we will have an actual live Zoom meeting where hopefully we'll be able to see each other and say hello. So without too much further, let you guys see that page, but this is the next assignment that I'm going to post. Is not too tricky. I think you guys will handle it fine. I wanted to do, a couple of them together with you, and you'll get this. This is you got this. You guys are ready for this. You're smart. You'll be able to do this. Reactants and products, just label them. How many atoms of each element are in the following? Something that we've actually practiced and talked about before, because we've started to do like molecular weight. You already have that skill. You already have the skills there in question number 2. Question number 3, 4, and 5 here, you're finding an element on the periodic table. So you can do that. You've been doing this. You've been practicing it. Because it says identify the elements, you should actually write out the name of the element. Why not? Are the following reactions balanced? Yes or no? That's going to be a little trickier. That you guys are. It's still not too bad though, because it's a yes or no question. So we'll talk about that. And then a couple of them where I ask you to actually balance the equations. So you only need to put an answer in where there's a blank space for those. For the yes or no questions, you guys can just either, like if it's yes or if it's no, you can just bold it or change its color or something like that. For these, I might change the formatting. When this document was first written a couple years ago, Google Docs did not have columns, but it does now. So I think what I'll do is put columns on these so that you can actually type in a column right beneath there. These obviously just fill in the blank. Try not to mess up the formatting, so if you type a number in and it's too long, well, actually, no, it worked fine. Okay, so you guys are going to be fine with that. So you're good. See how we're learning together? See what we're doing here? Sorry, guys, it's been a really crazy morning, so if I seem a little less than 100% prepared right now, that is true. So anyway, let me bring you back over to the whiteboard here. So we've got products and reactants to start out with. You should already know that, but in case you don't, when we have a chemical reaction, and this is not a balanced chemical reaction, this is unbalanced, and I'll explain why in a second. It's also not on the worksheet, so I'm going to flip back to just the camera view. When we have a chemical reaction, here we've got hydrogen and oxygen combining and forming water, and also releasing a nice big chunk of energy too, so that's fun. Your products are what is created. A product is something that is produced. So your product, in this case, is just H2O, water, and a whole lot of energy, although that's a story for a different day. What we call the reactants are the ingredients, basically. And reactants is just the special chemistry word for the things that are reacting together. The hydrogen and oxygen are reacting together, and they're forming the product, which in this case is water. Let's talk about whether or not this equation is balanced. So how many of each element do we have on each side of our equation, right? So on the reactant side, we have hydrogen, and we've got 2 of those, and we've got oxygen, and we've got 2 of those. Easy enough. On the right-hand side, I think if my screens go dark, there we go. On the right-hand side, we've got 2 hydrogens, H2, but we only have 1 oxygen. And so right off the bat, you would say that this is not balanced. Why is that? Well, there's only 1 oxygen on the right, and there are 2 oxygens on the left. Where did this other oxygen go? That's not allowed to happen, so this equation, the way it's written, cannot be true, right? I can't have an unequal number of things on each side of the equation. It's just not allowed. So then, how would we balance it, right? Now, I posted a link in the last assignment to a YouTube video by Tyler, is his name Tyler DeWitt? I don't know what his name is. I posted that link, and he does a really good job of going through some examples and explaining this. So I'm not going to go through this too slowly here. I'm going to go kind of fast because I expect you guys to go back and look at that one as well. And if you obviously, if you need more help, we're going to keep working on it over the next week. So it's not the kind of thing that you should be a master of already just at this point. We're going to keep working on it. But we're going to start with how many of each atom do we have? This should be somewhat familiar to you. And then we have to remember that we're only allowed to change the coefficient in front of the molecules. So pardon my redraw here. Ooh, wow. Oh, that did not work. Oh, horrible. Pardon my redraw there. But remember, you're only allowed to change the coefficients in front of the molecules. What's really important that you are not allowed to change is the subscripts. So the subscripts are the little numbers that are behind the atoms. That is just an invisible 1. Because remember, anytime it's just 1, we don't write it because we're lazy. You are not allowed to change those subscripts, because if you did that, you'd be changing what the actual product or reactant was. For example, if I made that H3O, that wouldn't be water anymore. It'd actually be, I think it'd be called heavy water. If you want to look that up on Wikipedia, it's pretty fascinating stuff. But it wouldn't be water anymore. So I can't change the subscripts, because if I did that, I would be fundamentally changing what these chemicals are. I'm not allowed to change what the chemicals are. I'm only allowed to change how many of them I have. And that's what we do with the coefficient that goes in front. So the coefficient that goes in front is where I've put in those lines. And by changing the coefficient, I multiply and change how many atoms of each element I have. So for example, I messed up there, right? That was a 1. If I put a coefficient of 2 in front of my product, H2O, that multiplies everything in that molecule by 2. So I'll now think about this for a second. I have 2 units. Basically, you can think of it as saying, like, I have 2 of these H2O molecules. Okay, so if I have 2 of them, then how many total hydrogen atoms are present? Well, it's 4, right? 2 of them per molecule, H2O, and I have 2 of the molecules, so I've got 4 total hydrogens, and I've got 2 total oxygens. You've had a little practice with this before, so I think you guys can grab it. Now what we kind of have to look at is, okay, is this balanced? We made a change. Is it balanced now? Well, we fixed oxygen. Oxygen is happy, but hydrogen is now incorrect. So what can we do over on the reactant side of the equation to fix hydrogen? If I put another coefficient of 2 in front of the hydrogen on the reactant side, I now have 2 molecules of H2, which means overall the total number of atoms that I have for hydrogen is 4. And now we have a balanced chemical equation. 4 hydrogens and 2 oxygens on each side of the equation. If you're struggling to grasp what I'm talking about here, please do the PhET assignment that I posted last week. It's a great visual at explaining the number of atoms and all that business. And then I also want to show you guys, before we go back to this, so for example, if we had a question that said, how many atoms of each element? This is the counting part of this that we were practicing. So if I have 6 units of H2O, there's no parentheses written there because we don't need them. We all speak the same language, and we understand that those parentheses are kind of implied. I'm saying there are 6 units of the molecule H2O. I don't need the parentheses because everyone who knows chemistry has all agreed that that's what we mean when we write it like that. And it's drawn out here visually for you. 6 H2O molecules. How many total hydrogens are there? We'll count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But you already knew that, right? And how many oxygens are there? There's 6. So that's the bones. That's the structure that you need to get working on in order to advance to more complicated. And it really comes down to guessing and checking sometimes. So when you get to the end of this worksheet, and there's some questions about asking you to actually try and balance the equations, you've got a couple of hints already written in there for you. So take advantage of those hints. Remember, you're only allowed to change something if there's a line written in front of it. You kind of have to go back and forth. You might fix one thing and then you have to go and adjust another thing. So work your way back and forth through the worksheet. And Tuesday or Wednesday we will have a live Zoom where anybody who wants to say hello will all be able to do it live and talk about this a little bit more. So thank you guys for watching. I'm going to stop and I'm going to see you guys soon. Stay strong. You got this. Life is not going to end. We're going to get through this. You guys are strong and you can do this. And if you know anybody, or if you know anybody who is fighting this disease right now, my heart is with you guys. I'm not really a religious person, but I am praying to someone that we'll all get through this okay. If you need anything at all, please do not hesitate to reach out to me or anyone at Fenton. We are all here for you guys, and all you have to do is ask, and we'll get it done. We're here for you. Okay, I will talk to you guys soon.